Once more to the Boiling Isles. The Owl House. Fight the future! Second of the 3 specials that will be closing out the story. It's good stuff. I am going to recommend, if you have not rewatched the first special lately, do that before watching this because it follows on pretty much immediately. There's no recap and there's no catch-up. So if you haven't rewatched it since that first came out, you might want to do that before watching this. It's not impossible to follow or anything, but there were a couple of moments where I was like, wait, what are they referencing? Or like I'd forgotten the fact that Ida lost an arm. And so like when she didn't have an arm, I'm like, wait, when did that happen? And I'm watching it with my kiddo, so she set me straight pretty quick. But, you know, just a general recommendation. If you're like me and you're in your 40s with a brain like a sieve, a refresher might not be a bad idea. It's good, though. It's good because it works very much just as a flip side. We get to see sort of what the immediate aftermath was after all the characters we saw in the last one got out of the demon realm. What happened? What happened to King? What happened to Ida? What happened to the Boiling Isles now that the Collector is free? All right, let's take a second to talk about the Collector. Characters like this powerful, possibly limitlessly powerful, or close to it, but with the minds of children. These characters terrify me. Part of that is because I am a parent. If I were to try and peg a equivalent human age based on behavior for the Collector, maybe 5 or 6, I'd say, roundabout. You ever tried to negotiate with a 5 or a 6-year-old? You ever try to have a rational conversation? You ever try to talk them down from some harmful behavior that they're doing and they don't want to listen to you on the authority that you're their parent and they're supposed to? Yeah, it gets real frustrating real quick. Now imagine if that child had the power to turn you into a marionette, to blink you out of existence, to throw a tantrum and rip the world in half. That scares me. I mean, it's part of why the empty child from Doctor Who scares me. I mean, yes, there's the creepy stuff, there's the gas mask, and the, oh, you my mommy, but there's just the fact that the mind of this child does not understand or appreciate the power it wields. And so it will tear the world apart because it doesn't have the proper understanding of the permanence of the destruction it's causing. And with someone like the Collector, he clearly doesn't care. If you try to appeal to any part of him that might care, well, you're going to have to appeal to the selfish bit. It's trying to negotiate with a 5 or a 6-year-old who holds all the power. That's scary to me. So he works quite well. And King, boy, King's in a tough spot, but it's great to see him again. And Francois, I'm so happy Francois is safe. That feels good. And Luce gets the string bean. She gets a staff and a talisman, and it's a snake shifter, I think she said, named String Bean. I have only just met String Bean, but she must be protected at all costs. It's so cute. Oh, I love the show. I love this mix of weird and demonic and aww. Oh, and I love Luce's mom. The more time that we spend with her and the more like she is trying to be supportive as she wanders into a world that she is not ready for with nothing but a bat and an attitude. I love her. She's great. And obviously this is a case where unfortunately there isn't as much time for character work as I would like because obviously they've only got these 3 specials to wrap up the story. We got to kind of focus on the story stuff. But there are a couple of decent character beats, character moments. Seeing Ida's sister, seeing Lilith with the short red hair. Boy, that threw me off. Oh, and Hootie. Oh, you sweet, sweet idiot. It's these specials, particularly knowing that we're coming to the end soon. It's like hanging out with old friends. It's just nice. And seeing Luce and Amity together is still real sweet. Oh, God, is it Dahlia? Is that Luce's mother's name? She's the worst. Like, Basha gives her a run for her money on being the worst, and Kiki Mora's no picnic either, but Dahlia's the worst. When she showed up serving the collector, I'm like, of frickin' course you are. Ah! You horrible, horrible person. I would say if anybody kind of gets the shaft a little bit, it is Ida. We get a little bit of her with her sister, and not too much else, but maybe she'll get more of a highlight next time. I'd say King gets a real good focus on this, which is nice because, you know, missed him. And like, there's just this one shot when they're going through the town and we see the playground. I'm like, oh, that's where he did the squeak of rage. I'm going to miss this show. I'm going to miss this show an awful lot. Oh, and Bellows is still kicking around. Will you just give up and fall apart, you tool? Ah. He's frustrating, but like in a effective villain kind of way. The kind of villain that you're like, stop, just give up. Just give up and stop. But he won't. You're like, God, you're infuriating. But effective. Quite effective as a villain. And something about the overly friendly facade that the collector puts all over everything at a time when this world is practically dead. But he puts this happy, bouncy look over everything. Again, that contrast of that kind of power in the hands of a child. And you know what was actually the most terrifying moment? This is going to sound weird. When he's in his bed and he looks at King and he goes, "Can I sleep with Francois?" Just like knowing how much this stuffed rabbit means to King and knowing what this kid could do if he doesn't like the answer he gets. Like, it was such a relief realizing that King had kind of already addressed this. Like, Francois only likes to be handled by certain people, to like kind of cover that a little bit. But, oh, man. I'm going to be really interested to see how this all wraps up. I don't have too much doubt that it's going to be good. Because this show's been good from the start, and it's only gotten better. And it's so stupid that it's wrapping up ahead of its time. But at the same time, at least we do get to see the story wrapped up. Imagine how depressing it would be if the end of season 2 was how the whole thing ended. But no. Because this is dark. Like, legitimately, this is actually pretty dark. But it's not depressing. Because there's hope. There's always hope. And these characters are holding on to it. Even as some of them have breakdown moments, like Willow does. Needs that reminder that you don't have to be the person who holds it together all the time. Even if you feel like you need to be. I like this group. I like these characters. I like this world. One more to go. The Owl House. What did you think of this special? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and is how I am able to do this as my living. Any amount you can give helps, but don't worry too much about it. Like, share, subscribe, help me out as well. But, you know, don't sweat it. We take a relaxed attitude around here so you can come on back next time you need a break. Well, it's Patreon supporter shout-out time, folks. So thank you to Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfulla, Tarak, The Thing That Goes Doink in the Anime, Oliver B., Angus Bjarnason, Linda Walters, Emu Delkey, Leotha Boyd, Toy Lowly, Becky Spark, Fernabilax the Poodle, Zach, Tracy Scrabbit, General Contact Unit Problem Child, Angry Casperl, Tim Price, Adam R.D.L. Taylor, Shayla Gourlay, and Brendan LaRose. Thanks so much for your help. You can get your name read out too. Check out the rewards in the Patreon. Is that what they should do? Should they check the Patreon?